Now what all this means is that when you prepare a bar chart after having set up the levels in this fashion, your bar chart is, is not going to show you 0 and 1, it will show you the labels, which makes the bar chart a little more readable, right? So I'm going to now copy that, okay, and of course we don't need to say as factor because we've already converted it into factor, so we'll get rid of that. We don't really need to do that. So this will be x equal to Chaz, and that's it. Okay, so that's AES, that's Shepard, okay. All right. Now I run, so it's going to give me no and yes. Okay. Now let's try to put more options for the chart. Okay, so now we want to add, suppose, okay, so now that we have the chart, okay, now we want to put a title to the chart, right? Suppose we want a title which is adjacent to Charles River or not, right? So we can say plus, and then the function for that is GG title. So GG title, and then you give the title, okay? Adjacent to whatever title you want. So this is whatever we type in here within the quotation marks will be used as the title. Adjacent to Charles River or not. Okay, or we can, yeah, or not. Okay. So if you run that, it's going to put the title here, and then within the GG title, there are some more parameters that you can specify. Okay, you can say, all right, I want it centered, I want it right side, or I want left side, I want that or this, and so on. Okay, but we are not going to get into all that. But there are other options that you can specify for the title. Okay, all right. Now here, okay, the x-axis and the y-axis labels can be changed as well. So the x-axis label is x lab. Okay, that's x lab is x-axis label. Okay, now we can say adjacent. Okay, so since we already have adjacent to Charles River or not, okay, so this question is does make sense, and you'll have no and yes, and then y lab is for y-axis y-axis label. Well, count is pretty good because it is how many, but we can, if you want, we can change it to frequency or number of properties maybe. Or something like that. Okay. Yeah. No, I am recording. Yeah. Thank you, though. I'll explain. The problems that we have been having, I was told that it is because of Camtasia. And Camtasia in RStudio are not talking to each other properly. So they showed me a different way of recording with what's called Kaltura or something like that. So I'm recording with Kaltura, and then I will download from Kaltura into Camtasia. But good that you reminded me, just in case I forgot. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, but I am recording. Yeah, see here. Yeah. Yeah, of course. So I run the code. Say now we have the x and y axis. Okay. All right. So now let's do one more thing before we move on to the next bar chart, and that is, yeah.
So I'm getting this, like, I'm getting two different boxes. One with this, and the other one says that error in xlab adjacent plus ylab number of properties semicolon non-numerical argument to binary.
So make sure that you have the code exactly like what I have. Okay. Now suppose we want to put a value label. Okay. Some people like that, some people don't. So that is, you want how tall the bars are, and you put a number there for the frequency. Okay. So we can do that by applying another layer. Okay. So it's like, so this is the main layer. So we're going to put another layer, and that's called stat count. Okay. Stat count. Okay, so right here. Okay. Stat count will give you a count of the statistics used in the bars. Okay. And here we're going to use geom equal to text. So that is, the statistic will be converted into text and displayed. So that's what that is. And then we have the aesthetic is label equal to stat count. Okay, so this is the syntax. So you have to just follow the syntax. And okay, so this line of code will print the number for the height. Okay, so it's going to print like this, okay, which is not very good, because what it is doing is it is printing right in the number is the height of the number is now placed exactly. The middle of the height is placed at the edge of the bar. Okay, so we need to do a little bit of adjustment, and you do that in this stat count, and that is V justifications or V just, vertical justification. Okay, and you can give a number. Okay, how much justification you want. Okay, positive justification will push the number down. Negative justification will push the number up. Okay, so we're going to do vertical justification equal to minus 0.5. Okay, now that will push up a little, and you can. This is just trial and error. You see whether you need a little bit more or a little bit less. Okay, try that, and it looks okay. Okay, so maybe you want a little less, 0.4 maybe. Okay, so all right. Okay, there is one more thing, and that is, okay, so here, so remember when I had 0.5, this number was colliding with the title. It was, the title was, obscuring the number, and that's because the y-axis label, it's going from 0 to a little beyond 400. You can increase the limit of the y-axis, then you'll have more space at the top. So that will be, again, you do a plus and you say y limit, and you can do the same thing with x limit too if you want it. Okay, so there is y lim and then x lim. And here in this case, there are only two values, and besides it's a factor, so x lim is not relevant here. So the limits are, you have to give two limits, okay, the lowest value and the highest value, separated by comma. So I'm going to say 0 to 500. Okay? You run that, so then the y-axis gets expanded. So now you have a reasonable looking bar chart. Right?